homes in the United States, individuals and families live completely unaware that the very air that they breathe every day inside their homes could cause cancer later in life. How is this possible? The toxic culprit is an invisible, odorless, tasteless, radioactive gas known as radon. Radon gas is a byproduct of natural radioactive decay of uranium found in soil, rocks, and water in all parts of the United States. This gas seeps up into air from the soil or water and can enter buildings through cracks due to generally poor insulation or just cracks in the foundation. Once the radon gas is inside the building, it is trapped but continues to rise, causing more concentrated levels of radon in the areas where we spend the most time, our homes.
Action.
Radon gas can enter all kinds of homes, whether they're new or old, poorly insulated or not, and whether or not they have a basement. Radon can also enter homes through well water or even through the building materials of the home in some cases. 1 in every 15 homes in the United States is estimated to have radon levels higher than the upper limit of 4 picocuries per liter of air, which is a measure of radioactivity. The U.S. Surgeon General warns that right after smoking, long-term radon exposure is the second leading cause of lung cancer in the United States. The gas decays into radioactive particles, which can be inhaled and trapped in the lungs, causing damage to lung tissue and leading to lung cancer that develops many years after the exposure in some cases. Individuals who smoke and are exposed to radon are at a particularly high risk of developing lung cancer. Children are also an especially vulnerable population because their cells are rapidly dividing as they grow and because they breathe more air for their body size per day than the average adult. Both of these aspects of children create increased opportunity for cell damage and mutations that could lead to the development of lung cancer. Although the Centers for Disease Control and the American Lung and Medical Associations agree that thousands of preventable lung cancer deaths can be attributed to radon exposure every year, the word preventable is extremely encouraging. How is dangerous exposure to radon possible to avoid if it is invisible? Omar will tell us why it's never too late to reduce your own risk of radon exposure and how you can take.
Thank you, Emily, for your thorough analysis of this dangerous but preventable radioactive gas. Radon was discovered as a household threat in the early 1980s, and since then, a lot has been done to help prevent this problem. The first step in getting rid of radon in your home is to get it tested. There are many different methods of testing for radon, but the cheapest and least expensive way is to buy a short-term household testing kit online at NRP, the National Radon Program, or at your local hardware store, like Lowe's or Home Depot. These tests cost as little as $15, including the lab testing fees, and the whole process takes no longer than 2 weeks. Once the results are back, that's when you decide whether or not to take action. If the results expose a radon level of 4 ppc per liter of air or higher, then immediate action should be taken. A mitigation system should be installed in the unprotected home, and in the meantime, windows should be kept open and household fans running. Sealing the cracks in the foundation alone is not a reliable preventative method. The most common form of mitigation, which is also the most effective, is something called an ASD, or an active soil depressurization system. This can be installed in almost any home with prices ranging from $800 to $1,500. Here's how it works. Gas has a tendency to rise, and the foundation of the home sits on top of gas-releasing soil, preventing the gas from being released properly and creating a high-pressure situation below the home. This leads to the gas forcing itself through the foundation of the home and into the dwelling itself. The ASD mitigates this high-pressure system by actively depressurizing the soil and drawing in air and gas from below the house with a fan. This fan then safely releases the gas into the atmosphere. Like with many other issues, the best way to treat the problem is to prevent it at the source. This is why we think that all homes should be built with an active soil depressurization system. They are less costly to install during the building process of them. The United States EPA should make this process mandatory when building a home. Also, states with higher rates of household radon gas pollution should educate homeowners on this topic and provide testing kits and access to radon gas contractors so that they can install these mitigation systems in their homes. The gap needs to be filled between the homeowners and the second leading cause of lung cancer in the United States, and we believe this is the most effective way of doing so.